The sun's already blowing up, that's why it's hot and bright. I mean, it's like permanently exploding, yeah. But that's normal. I wouldn't say blowing up because like eventually it'll supernova and everything will get burnt to a crisp and die. But that's different. That's like a different thing than the current, you know, constant exploding kind of thing. It's, you know what I mean? It's like a fireball of a bunch of smaller explosions constantly. Not like the cool supernova kind. Thought our sun is too small to go supernova. Well, I don't know if it'll get classified as supernova necessarily, but it'll still go through the process. It'll go through the process of getting there, and then, you know, whatever it undergoes, it undergoes. Whatever happens, happens. Will it wipe us out? Something else is gonna wipe humanity out well before that, 100%. Well before all of this. I think, personally, I hope it's super mutants, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know what it'll be, but I hope everyone gets dunked in the vats. I think it'd be cool. Mr. Beast is gonna wipe us out for a video. The aliens are gonna come down and they're gonna find Mr. Beast and they're gonna put a gun to his head and they're gonna be like, you need to make the greatest video of all time. And he's like, I know what I must do. And then he makes a video and he's like, I got rid of all the people except for one. And that one wins all the resources in the world. And then it's himself. It's gonna be so cool. I ended humanity in this video. Thanks for the sponsorship. No, I think it'll be cool. It'll be the coolest video of all time, you know. You won't get to see it. That's all. You know, why does he have like a serial killer smile? Let me look at his recent thumbnails. Let me look. Maybe I'm thinking of just the worst pictures. I'm tired of him showing all of his teeth all the time. Do you know what I'm talking about? He has plenty of thumbnails where his mouth is closed and he's making an expression, and I have like no problem with those when I look at them. I think they look totally fine. Sometimes it's a good expression, sometimes it's a bad expression, sometimes it's a, you know, whatever, and like those are fine. But yeah, very peepo teeth. And the thing is, if I only saw one picture of him, I'd be like, that's a guy grimacing, okay? But then he does like the exact same thing in so many of the thumbnails, and then I think that's what makes it uncanny. Yeah, you know what it is? Yeah, it's like he does this one grimacing face and he just does the exact same face on so many of them. I think that's what it is. No, I don't think they're reused, either that or, well, I think he's using AI for his thumbnails for the most part. He might have the greatest Photoshop artists of all time. He has the money to definitely hire people to Photoshop him incredibly well, so it could very well be that. But I'm pretty sure he just uses AI art for a lot of the backgrounds of his thumbnails. Or I remember there being a complaint about that. And as I look at a lot of them, I'm like, yeah. It could also be really good Photoshop jobs on a lot of them though, so I don't know. He looks like he's smiling without flexing the necessary muscles. He needs a Tyra Banks lesson. He needs Tyra Banks to put him through the whole thing and to be like, girl, you ain't smizing, you know, and send him down the runway, teach him to smize for the judges, and then I think, you know, it would be a lot better. It would be so much better. What if he just does really freaky photo shoots? Like he's got this one, here, I'll show you. He could do really strange photo shoots, maybe. Okay, because he's got this one thumbnail of this video called I Paid an Assassin to Try to Kill Me, right? And it looks like this. It looks like this. And then more recently, he's got one that says, would you risk dying for 500K? And that thumbnail, let me show ya, looks like this. Now, are these just photoshopped similarly, or are these the same photo shoot? You see the ripped up shirt? Or is this a format that worked really well and they were like, let's do that again? Also, you can see how different his face looks in it. God, the photoshopping's crazy. But like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's, what if it's the same photo shoot? I don't know, man. Both feel like fetish AI. They're both AI, both feel like AI. They feel like, but again, people who are good at Photoshop make things feel like AI. I remember looking at very old videos of people photoshopping, and this was the thing. If you come from the days of early meme creation, people used to use Photoshop in insane ways to make pictures of like two famous people making out, right? And it would just be like hours and hours and hours of Photoshop, and it was really hard to do. But that used to be like, I remember that was a type of content creation, was people that were good at photoshopping crazy shit together, right? So there is a chance that this is only Photoshop, but I think most likely it's probably both. I even remember picking up Photoshop like really early on and learning how to do like some weird shit with it. Zabrand is so generic at this point, and AI is the most generic look possible, so there's no difference between Zabrand and the underlying aesthetic of AI. I mean, isn't that the whole point? Right? The point is he's trying to be a regular guy. Like, what does Mr. Beast mean? Nothing. He's just a guy with very white teeth And he makes videos of being like, I did something, and the video's not even really about me that much. That's it. He's pretty much just a producer, right? A producer and then a face of some. I think that's the whole thing. This is what I get from it, is I feel like the whole vibe he's going for is to not have too much of a personality, too much of a brand, and to be too different. That way you can always self-insert, right? Which I feel like is the case for a lot of things. A lot of things. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Right, that's just his strat. So, yeah. Oh, has he? He has verbatim said before that he intentionally suppresses his personality for his content. That makes sense. I mean, it's actually something that works on stream. Like, a lot of people have sort of A/B tested this, and they've found that the more you just kind of stim and have less of a unique personality, and you just like do a couple funny things, but for the most part, you like become less unique, the more viewers you get, which is it makes sense. It makes sense because you're getting people willing to come in the door and stay because you're casting a wider net, right? You're less specific, you're more vague. And I think that makes a lot of sense. So sad? I don't think so. It's a job. It's a job. There will always be people doing specific stuff. There will always be people that, a lot of this is just for themselves. And then there are going to be people that are like, I just want to make money doing this. I don't care. I'm just doing this for a job. I could do a different job, or I could do this. And that's what I'm doing. And they're going to do what they're going to do. I think that's fine.